Okay, so the first thing you'll need is a helper. And we've got a helper here, so I'm all set. And we got the bottom open there, but I was worried there wouldn't be enough light for you to see what's going on. So I'm going to get a light. I see the bulb. My camera angles are shifting a little bit because the camera girl is just adjusting the focus or something. Hey, baby. Grab that. Thank you. Yeah, we gotta leave it in one spot so Kyle can see. Got you. Okay, so I'm under here, and what's happening is the old one's still installed. I kind of started on it, which maybe I'll back up first. The first thing I'm gonna do is go in reverse. That way you'll know where to start from. So this piece goes in this piece, on this piece. I'm putting this back together so that if you have the same, I forgot to really examine the shit out of your current faucet so that I could help you better, but you'll be able to figure it out, I'm sure. If it's different, basically you got to take it apart before you can get it off. There's valves under the sink. Holy fuck, this is more complicated than it should be. Under the sink in this house, there's valves. Can I have that light now? Thank you, helper. Just hold that up. Okay, so in this house, there's just simple water valves. So one's for hot, one's for cold. And in this house, again, there's an extra tap. I think in old days they might have planned that so they could have drinking water out of a filtration system, and then this tap would just be like dishwater and maybe some cooking water or something. I don't know. So there's 3 pipes instead of 2, but most houses only have 2. Hi, baby. So the flex lines are almost standard. Sometimes you'll have this hard piped in, but that's really rare and it's sucky. Up there you can see as a standard flex line going to the piping. So if we take a look at the current installation top side, I'll just finish. Some tools you're going to need, likely. A Phillips head screwdriver. Mine's T-handle, but I mean any Phillips head screwdriver will work. A nice pair of channel lock pliers might help because they can go really big. So there's this channel on this side and it locks into each size. I don't know if you can even see that because I should be watching the video part. Okay, so there's what I'm talking about, a pair of pliers. There's longer handles on them. I just use this one. It's handy. It's the top of my toolbox. And then an Allen key you'll probably need too. Who knows exactly what size this is. I didn't look. I just grabbed the one that fit, and oh, it fits. So if we put, there's another piece that's supposed to go here. That goes like that. I'll shut this valve. There. Open this. So the water was still on, as you've seen there. Ours is destroyed too, so I'm not just doing this to be a jerk and say, here's how you do it. I'm doing this because I'm got to do it, and I think if you watch through it, like one of them stupid YouTube tutorials that I always say are unnecessary and people should figure it out on their own. There you go, here's your YouTube thing. But just because I was already doing it and we're friends, that's why, not because I didn't think you could figure it out on your own. Okay, so that's back together kind of like it was. This goes on kind of like this. Ainsley says, yeah. Okay, so start point for, oh shit. You get the idea. I'm not going to stop and put this on, but this was slid over top. So start point is, there's this little I don't know, indicator, blue and red indicator, and you take that off like with whatever sharp object that'll kind of get behind it, and then Allen key into this bad boy. Like I said, it might be that you've got those double taps here, and like this one, in which case there's a cap, and you pop the cap off, and then you take the screw out, and then you can take the whole handle off, and then you can get at the guts, but you'll figure it out. So the next step is to get in there with the Phillips head screwdriver, star, a lot of people call it. Then this piece lifts out. Then this threads off. If you're careful, you can grab the very bottom with your hand and do it. But if it's stuck, you grab your channel lock pliers nice and wide and gently grab the plastic. Yours might be metal, who knows. Oh, this would have been on top of that, but it just slides off. Then this piece you grab with your channel lock pliers gentle close to the bottom, because the top actually is a separate piece. But so right here, give it a nice turn with your channel like gentle, you know, and then it'll spin off by hand. Now, it could be a few different things in here. Like another one of these brass nuts where you need your channel locks, or that size of a wrench. But this one has a clip, so I'll just show you the clip there. I'm going to try and lift right up around it. Oh, look at that, I got that piece off. And then this, I'm going to set this down again. There's that plastic retainer. I guess if I break it, it's... There we go. I was going to say it's not a tragedy, but get it off without breaking it. That's nice too. This piece just lifts up after that. It might be silicone down if the guy was super cautious when he installed it, or girl, when she installed it, if they put a lot of goop under there to prevent it from leaking. I think mine's probably not that well installed. I don't even know if the sink has goop under it like it should. On this model, there's an O-ring I just rolled. See that O-ring guy right there? I just here, I'll turn the light on. I rolled it up out of the groove, and now I'm able to slide this up. And then you can see how simple that is. It's just in there. So once I remove the hardware at the bottom now, so we're done up here basically is what I'm saying. There's no nut or retaining kind of device on this side. There might be on yours, some screws in here or something like that to keep that down, or some nuts and washers here to unthread. It depends on what you got. And then underneath, we're gonna undo the, obviously these are shut, we're gonna undo the water lines. I gotta see what the baby's doing here. So she's playing with that. I guess that's good enough. Come on this way, kid. Come on in here. Come on with your dad. Go get your toy. Bring it this way. Come on. Ainsley. Come on. Yeah, come on. Throw it over here now. Okay, so our tap that Tina chose is a little complex. Not really. Here's the size that you can see compared to my thumb. It's, you know, it's a good size. And then here's another auxiliary line, like, comes down and has, this actually attaches to it. That is for this to pull out and slide longer. I don't know how I do. Oh yeah, like that. So you can spray with it and then it goes back up in. But yours might not have that. It might. I don't know. This is the one Tina picked tonight. I like it. This is similar to the one we had, which was really good. And then now I've got some wrenches on the ground. Typical size. This one's 15/16s. This one's 11/16s. Or sorry, 13/16s. This one here is an adapter, and this one fits up here. So I can open that, and this one is this bottom because my new pipe tap has to go into the bigger size. So I'm just gonna open this up versus taking this one off, this little guy up here. I'm just gonna leave that on. Oh, I gotta go see baby again. Baby's in bed. I had a little snack. I think we're ready to give this a shot anyway. Let's stick this on here. My camera person is missing. She got very sleepy after her bath. Looks like there's a bit of water like dripping out of this, even though the tap's off, so it's probably whatever water was left in the line when I shut it off. So I'm righty tighty lefty loosey on this. And you can see the flex line is spinning right at the swivel coupling, so this will just let me turn it right around. And the bottom wrench is a hold back, but I could maybe, possibly, yeah, this also is a swivel here, so I can turn this one on the bottom. Until it comes out. And there'll be a bit of water there because whatever's left in the line. That's interesting. Anyway, let's take a look at what we got over here. Same, oh, same idea. Now, there's some white residue on these. That's a good thing. Whoever put them on used thread sealant and lubricant, so it's got some residue on there from that. Now, the trick will be to get some more thread lubricant sealant to put back on the new, or Teflon tape works as well. At this point with my fixture, this is where that handy wrench comes in. The specialty wrench that I was telling you about would solve this issue for us. I don't have one right handy, like I'd have to dig for it. So I'm going to look for a socket that'll fit that. I'll be right back with one here. So I found this wrench. the rest should just slide up and out. Oh, once I unkink the lines. So it slid up and out. Now I can disconnect the water lines, the flex lines. So for this side, that wrench doesn't work, but my handy dandy channel lock pliers will click onto there. This will do this side. Again, you notice the white residue on there. We're going to replace, make sure it doesn't leak. This is rather disgusting, so that'll need a good cleaning with alcohol. After I wipe it, I'm going to wash it with soap and water, and then I'm going to clean it with alcohol so it dries super dry. Over here is the new faucet fixture. And I'm going to attach my flex lines to this before I slide it through. I'll also want to, for this style, attach this before I slide it through so that and there's a gasket there that's going to go in between. You see this plate here is the new one, so I'm going to need to remove these. And they can be applied on the bottom. Yeah, that's about it. So this plastic piece and this silver piece are going to end up going up here. And once those posts come through those holes, that's just rotten and disgusting there. All needs to be fucking replaced, to be honest. But I'll bleach it. Sorry, I'll alcohol it. Bleach is bad. Bleach will release a bunch of fumes, and it doesn't dry properly, so the mold will end up growing back if it survives the bleach, and it'll grow back stronger. But alcohol will dry it out so dry that it can't survive, so that's the best one to use in a spray bottle. Just straight 99% alcohol to kill any mold. That's what I'm going to do. Eventually we'll rip this whole counter apart and put a new counter on, but not today. And then these will end up going on the little bolts. Once they're dropped through, similar to that. So this is alcohol, 99% from the drugstore, and I put it in a spray bottle because I got it shooted up in there. I don't know if you can see this, but I'll probably wreck the camera if I get too close. You know what I mean anyway, just shoot it up in there real good. So it's behind and above and in between everything. And I can get some on the top side too. This is a non-scratch scrubby. Scotch Brite, I think it's called. This is preparing that surface for a good seal. And then the oldest rag you got. These bad boys, we'll get those cleaned up a bit and put on to this. Then I'll feed everything through the hole. Then I'll slide on over top of this thing these two pieces. So I've got them down here ready. And yeah, we'll try that. I think it'll be on it. Excuse me. I think it'll be on a tripod for a bit, so it's not so shaky. Zoom out. So I bagged up the old tap set, and it's ready to. I'll just give it to the landlord if they want to use it somewhere, and they can replace the rubbers and make it work. Then that's great. A lot of reasons why we changed it right out to a new one here. I also grabbed a tube of silicone. It was one I already had in the go. I hope it's still alright. It was kind of chunky and crappy where I used it. It's the cheapest silicone I could. I mean, it was the only one actually. But I could have tried a little harder and got a more expensive one. But instead, I just used the one I had. Because it's going underneath here anyway and it won't be seen. So it doesn't have to be beautiful like tile silicone or bathtub silicone for the really visible areas. Just get a little in there, it won't matter. And it's actually going on this surface. Just float it on there for a second. Geez, it looks like I need a bigger hole. Minor oversight. Maybe not. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to back you up just a bit. So this is all hopefully going to fit down the hole. Got a little bit of that white silicone on the threads. This might not even fit. Will just fit. Okay. That was close. So I maybe would have had to cut a bigger hole with a hole saw and a drill, and that's when things get complicated. But this tap does fit through there. So I can go ahead and install this piece, and that'll have a good seal under it once I get it in position because of that silicone. That piece. To have it on the right side, but this is almost in the way. I don't know, I still feel I'd reach for it more often with my right. I'm going to put it there. It's arbitrary though, you guys can maybe make a decision together or something. Hot would be pushing away. I don't know if that's a factor. At any rate. I think I got a little, this looks like grease or something on there. If it's silicone, it's really bad because it's hard to get off, but it just looks like grease. So that looks pretty centered up top. I'm going to just look underneath. Looks like I can get away with both of those. Under here it's wet, that's one thing. But I did spray it all liberally with 99%, so I assume it's going to dry up real soon here. In the meantime, I can get these plastic spacers on. It looks like they'll be big enough to cover the holes. And the next thing is to get this hooked up and get that silicone out of the threads there. I hit it with the pipe. So there's silicone in there. I guess the next phase involves tightening up this nut. I guess I should try and find a wrench that fits it, because I still didn't dig for the specialty wrench that I mentioned. I'm trying to do it without it just in case I can save myself the hassle of wondering where I put the thing. At any rate, I gotta get this up and on there. So on the bottom here, I've got that nut as tight as I can by hand. I'm going to want to give it a couple cranks still. I can get on it with these pliers this way. And I get about a 30 little grips to turn once or something, maybe more. This is where that specialty tool does actually speed things up, because it just reaches right into the gap for you. Plus I'm going the wrong way. Actually just turned it further. On the top side you have to watch. So I could actually spin this any which way right now. This has got to be locked up into position so I know how long that tube has to be down the bottom. And then this, cold or hot, before I hook the water up, I open the valve for both cold and hot, so somewhere in the middle. The reason why, when you turn the water valves back on, the air pressure in the line will hammer on the closed valve and it will blow it apart, or it'll cause it to, the O-ring to move, and that's not good. Or it could blow this whole stem out of position. there's a lot of pressure there when air is compressed and driven. Okay, so and then here's I'm making sure that when it's fully hot that it doesn't hit the wall, but it can be pretty close. I just don't want it to hit. So that's probably where I want the tap to sit. I'm going to leave it open. So under here now I want to make sure that that nut is as tight as I can possibly get it. I'll just set you back into viewing country. On these threads, I've got lubricant. The best stuff to use is a Loctite PTFE substance, which will lubricate and seal. It kind of like hardens a little bit after and seals. This stuff's just lubricant. There's already there's a broken camera. There's already sealant on them, so I'm just going to make sure I tighten them up good and lubricate on my way. Hopefully that'll be good enough. But I suggest that Loctite thread locker. I think it's, well, no, I guess that's a misnomer. Thread locker could mean the stuff that doesn't let it loosen, which isn't necessarily what you want. Actually, you want something that will make the threads run smoother, and then later on you'll be able to still get it off. Something not permanent. It's pipe thread lubricant, I think it's called, even if it's a Loctite product. This hose had a kink in it. I'm just working that out. There's two kind of kink points here. And there's a weight that needs to be installed on that hose as well, a split counterweight. Phillips head screwdriver comes in handy once again. Just to split it in half and put it around that hose. This way it keeps the nozzle into the, I guess, the gooseneck of the faucet. With gravity's help. Good old gravity. Well, sorry for taking so long. This is probably the most boring part of the video, but I'll speed it up here. this is for the hot water. And it goes right onto here. And again, you want to use one wrench. Is that the right size? Scheiße. And hold back. Because if you don't hold back on these, you could twist them off inside your new tap. So it's important to... See, I'm going to give myself a little more room. Now that these things are through, they don't need to be straight. So there. And bend it a little bit. It's just copper, so you have to be careful not to kink it. And then this is the cold water line. Jeez, I kind of got that in the middle of there, didn't I? Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you warn me that that was happening? Oh yeah, this is a nice long one. I can manipulate a little bit. So there's my hold back. I squeeze that, keep it in the same spot so it doesn't twist off up inside the tap. This piece here, whoops, should ditch that smaller wrench, I don't need it. Well, it's kind of clangy and noisy, but it works. I wonder if I routed this around the hot water. If that would help. Or hinder. Oh. Hinder. Oh, I wish I could cut that part of the video out. More lubricant. Alternate solution to that would be forcing it the other way. Bending a hot line. So that's my hold back. Oh, I can't. See how I'm holding it over here, I guess. That's my hold back there. Might as well check all the connections while I'm here, because if you don't check, that's when one leaks. Yeah, that one might have leaked. Oh, am I going the wrong way? I'm going the wrong way with that. Alright. So, again, I'll stress this. Make sure the valve is open. Right here. And then these valves, you can open slowly. This is the hot. And there's the hot right away. Oh, and it's leaking out the valve stem, so that's something to notice. Usually when you open it all the way, full on, that will stop. This is a shitty old Emco valve, and it often leaks while the stem is in motion, but if it's fully open or fully closed, it'll be good. So I'll just keep an eye on that piece of shit. And then this is my result up here. It actually feels cold, not hot. I might have put the lines up backwards, but we'll see. Yeah, so I put the lines up backwards, but let's see. I think it's funny, I'm getting water either way. Anyway, let's open the other valve. It's right here. If you don't have valves right under your sink, it's kind of odd, but they're just in the basement, probably below you, or I don't know, yours is on an exterior wall, so the only thing I could think of, it's in the basement below you. So now I should have hot and cold. there's the hot. So hot is toward and cold is away, the way that I hooked it up by accident. But I'll just switch this if I can. And all as well. I don't have to undo anything. I'm just going to check for leaks now. So once you shut this off, the leaks will start to show. If there are any, they will show with the tap up top shut and the pressure building. It gets up to, depending on where you live, maybe 50 psi, pounds per square inch inside the lines. 40, 30 is probably better and maybe more common, but some places the water pressure is really high, so you have to watch for a while for leaks. And it's good to, like, now that I've got the work part of it done and the valves are open again, it's good to clean up. And then you just put down a clean, like, dry towel or paper towel or something that's clean and dry, and then come back to it in a bit and look for any wet mark. I don't know what I can use. But I'll just put this box. It's a clean, dry box. There's no water on it yet. So that'll tell me if I see drops of water on it, that something's leaking slowly. And I'll just go over everything now with hand towel and make sure it's whatever water was on the pipe is off. So then I'll visually be able to see right there, I can see some water, which maybe is a leak. I don't know if you can see that. But I'll just keep watching to see if it's a leak or if it's just water from when I did the work and it's still kind of hanging around. Obviously, if it starts dripping, I'll have to shut the valves off again and tighten the pieces where it's leaking. But it looks pretty tight. Looks like things are dry. And like I say, just keep an eye on it. Let's see if I can flip this thing around. It's kind of in there. If I get a sharper knife. Well, I'm going to try a little harder with something a little pointier. Anyway, that's the gist of it. I can tell that I didn't tighten that thing enough because I can still move this. So I'm going to find that tool. Actually, I want it right about there. I'm going to find that tool that tightens this and make sure it doesn't keep spinning. Have a great one.